Good morning. You've gotten really good at this fantasy reading and writing thing, haven't you? So I want to talk about the whole picture of what we've been doing with fantasy. There are patterns in fantasy books that we've been studying, and I made a chart for you, and I will make a picture of it for you too. I want you to think about this with your new books so that you can be thinking about what patterns are you seeing. So I'm going to move this in a little bit closer for you. I'm going to start pointing. So one of the patterns in fantasy are the archetypes. Remember, there could be a common hero, somebody who's regular and average and normal who has become a hero in the story. Then there's the reluctant hero, somebody who's thrust into the role. I think about in our book that we're reading about Deltora Quest, he didn't want to be a hero. He was just a regular kid, but he got thrust into the role by circumstances. Then we have the anti-hero. That is probably somebody who appears heroic, but turns out I think Snape is the one in Harry Potter, who seems like a hero and then turns out not to be the character we thought he was. So how about a prophecy or a curse? Have you noticed that pattern in your books? There's a prophecy. There's something that needs to be fulfilled in Deltora Quest. They need to fulfill the prophecy of putting all the gems in the belt and protecting Deltora. And sometimes there's a curse, like in Sleeping Beauty. I mean, if you think of that traditional story where she's going to prick her finger and then she will sleep until the prince wakes her. So there might be a curse. There certainly is a curse put on Deltora by the shadow evil guy. And he says that he's going to take over and come back, and he has done that, looks like anyway. So is there a prophecy in your book? Is there something that somebody needs to fulfill in order to solve the problem? Or is there a curse that needs to be reversed? Here's another pattern. There are kinds of characters, and there could be a mentor. Is there somebody mentoring your character along the way? I feel like Endon is mentoring the king, don't you? Like he's read the book and he knows all the things and he's helping the king along in his quest to save Deltora. There's also companions. So on this quest that the group is traveling on, which we haven't gotten to in our read aloud yet, who is traveling with the main character? Who's traveling with the hero? And how are they supporting him in his journey? What are the characteristics or traits that they have that help to contribute to the success of the quest? Finally, we would have a villain. A villain, of course, is the bad guy, the evil, the one that represents dark, the one that needs to be overcome. Quite often the villain has a lot of power in a fantasy book, and it is the role of the hero to try to resist the power and to fulfill the role that he has in the book, to save or to conquer or to find something, a sacred object perhaps, like the belt. So you might be also thinking about the quest or the journey, and then a significant object or place. So in our read aloud, that belt is a significant object. In the Lord of the Rings, of course, it's the ring that's the significant object. Is there something in your book that is significant, that either holds the power or protects the people, something that you should be paying attention to because it probably has something to do with good and evil and the theme of the book? So I just wanted to give you an overview. You have learned, look how much you've learned about fantasy reading. And this is actually mostly what 5th graders and 6th graders study. I knew you could do it though, because you're almost 5th graders anyway. And you're smart and hardworking. So when you're reading your books and when you're writing about your books, these are important things to be noticing and to be taking, to spend a little time after you finish reading each day and say, we're on a quest, we're on a journey. What's getting in the way? What's the most important problem here? What's the author trying to teach me about life? Awesome. Okay, happy reading.